Have you ever taken a deload week and felt like you were slacking instead of training? This week, I'm going to talk a little bit about my first experience with a structured deload week in my running program and kind of what I experienced with that. So, hopefully, that'll answer some of the issues you may have around deload. So, this past week and a bit, because I've kind of changed the sequencing of when I'm going to be having these videos come out, I finished off a week of my run progression training with a pretty good long run, and then went into the first structured deload week that I've ever done when it comes to my running training. In the couple of years previous to this, when I was building up run volume towards my first ultra in 2024, and then the first solstice run last year, really what I had been doing was just adding more mileage every week, just trying to run a little more every week and then running until something broke or I got burnt out and then taking time off until I was able to return to training. So this year, I wanted to approach things with a little more structure. So I planned in a deload week this past week where I cut the overall run mileage back by basically 50%. The intention was that I'd be doing, a lot more walking, hiking, very easy running during the week. Weirdly, for me, I found it a lot harder to actually get motivated to get out the door when I knew that it was going to be the really easy, slow deload stuff. I did talk about that in one of the Always Ready Extra videos that I put out this past week. So if you haven't seen those, do look for those on the channel. But yeah, weird. It felt like it was a lot harder to get myself motivated to get out the door when it was just a walk, right? Even if it was like pouring rain, miserable conditions, if I had a planned run that I was looking at as being productive training, I find it not as difficult. I mean, it still sucks to go out and run in that kind of stuff, but I find it easier to get myself out the door for that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird way I'm wired. Going out and like really suffering makes the sucky conditions a little less of an issue, I guess, versus, going out to just walk for an hour. But that just walking and the really easy miles in the deload week actually really contribute to the long term health of my joints. The time on feet is still important and conditioning my body to that sort of thing for the big projects that I have coming up this year. Like I said, it was a bit of a challenge getting my head around the idea of the structured deload, but I kind of got into it in the latter half of the week and did end up totaling the right amount of mileage, but didn't quite hit it the way that it was planned out. So hopefully when my next deload week comes around in about 4 weeks' time, I'll be able to do that a bit more kind of on the plan. So I guess the answer is when you're doing a deload week, it's supposed to feel easy. Don't be surprised if you have a lot of trouble motivating yourself to get out and do the easy work, but that easy work is still an important part of the work. That's basically where I'm at. I'm going to keep this video pretty short. On the same day that this video is supposed to be coming out, I'll also be publishing finally the first blog article in the Always Ready series. I kind of procrastinated on that a little bit because I was having a bit of challenges getting over the nervousness or anxiety around being on camera and doing these videos. It was meant to go out right at the beginning of this series back in the beginning of January, and then it was getting more and more out of date. So I had to kind of revise things and finally settled on getting that first article out. So do look for that and other blog articles that you might find useful. You can find the link for the blog in the description for this video. Also, if there's anything that any of you watching this want to know about training preparation for doing like this ultra marathon distance or these kind of projects, or for just trying to be overall more resilient and always ready, as this series is meant to cover, do let me know. So anything around equipment that I'm using for these adventures or fueling for the longer endurance kind of stuff, or even like general nutrition stuff day to day, or any reasoning behind why I'm doing the things that I'm doing or making some of the choices that I'm making as you see this. Do also look for those always ready extras videos. I'm kind of filming those on the go as I'm doing training stuff along the way. So they'll give you a little more of a window onto what my training really looks like. And I feel like I can be a little more natural in those. These kind of talking head videos still feel really weird and forced to me. I'm trying to get over that and be a little less mechanical with these. So hopefully this one is better than the last one, and the next one will be better than this one. So that's the plan anyway. The plan is going to be to try and get one of these videos out about every week. On Tuesday, it'll be every week or every 2 weeks. It'll just depend on how things are going. Next week may be a bit of a challenge because I'll be traveling, but we'll see. I'll see what I can do.